Hi everyone, it's Ashley. Thank you so much for clicking on my video today. Guys, as always, I am so excited to be sitting down with you tonight. Now, for those of you that saw my community post, you're probably a little surprised to be seeing this video. It is just about 24 hours before Hurricane Milton is supposed to make landfall in Florida. So with that being said, my husband and I have had a long day of hurricane preparation as we prepare for Hurricane Milton to make landfall. And now that everyone is in bed, I wanted to sneak in for just a little bit of crafting to kind of relax my nerves at the end of a long day. As I say that, I'm going to bring in my first blank here. I want to start tonight's crafts off with something just a little on the simpler side, only because, as I said, we are preparing for a Category 3 hurricane, and it has been a very long and stressful few days as we kind of prepare for that. And also, if you watched my last video, I kind of mentioned there that I did take a little bit of a step back. So I am definitely kind of just finding my way back to YouTube and making videos. I definitely want to start this video by saying that coming back to such sweet comments from you all was so nice. It absolutely warmed my heart to see that you guys noticed my absence and appreciated my return. So I am so excited to just kind of be getting back into the swing of things. My husband and I are choosing to stay in our home and not evacuate. So with that just comes, some storm preparations that need to be done. So I think that we are, for the most part, as prepared as we can be. I have decided that from this point forward, I am just going to kind of let nature take its course, right? Literally. And we will see what this storm has in store for us. I so appreciate, as I was saying, the comments and support. Absolutely overwhelming, and I just have to say thank you so much. I know I literally say it in every video, but it honestly does make the biggest difference to just kind of have you guys cheering me on, because let me tell you, I am one that, I don't know, I'm just kind of a million different places. I have the best of intentions, but my follow through is not always the best. So seeing comments like that really is just so motivating. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for such a warm welcome back. Okay, now with all of that said, I'm so sorry, I kind of went on a rant there. I have a mug from the Dollar Tree. Now this mug here is I don't think anything special. I think it's one that they carry all year long. And it is just a plain white ceramic mug. And I like this one because it is really nice and tall. So it gives you a nice area here that's blank, and it gives you a lot of space to work with. Okay, so for my first little design here, I'm going to make my husband a little mug for Halloween. And I just thought it would be so cute to make his little mug say love potion, because I honestly think that is my husband's love potion, is coffee. So with that being said, this is super fitting for the occasion. And you guys did see me bring in some rubbing alcohol. So I do plan to put this on both sides of my mug. So just starting with one side, I'm going to get this as centered on my little cup cradle as I can. Make sure you guys check below if you're interested. I love this cup cradle. It is super affordable and I think it works really, really well. So with that being said, just trying to get this as centered as I can, I'm going to go ahead and lay down the first part of our little design here. And then just kind of working from the center of the design, I'm just gonna go out from the center one way and then the other. Now, since this mug is pretty like tall and it's not super curved, I don't think that I need any relief cuts for this particular design, at least. However, if you are working on a surface that's a little more curved, you could always put some relief cuts in your transfer tape and that will help you with laying it down. Okay, so I'm just gonna go in and pick up just one of the little second part of my design here. Now, since this little mug is for my husband, I didn't want to do anything like too crazy color-wise, because as I have said before, and I'll say again, my husband is a simple man. You know, he is not one for, you know, a pink love potion here. So I thought just a really nice kind of simple black and gray would do really, really nicely for this. And look how cute that is. I think that'll be so sweet, like sitting on the Keurig for the month of October. Okay, so I'm literally just gonna turn my little mug over and we are gonna repeat the same steps here. So first, I'm just gonna go ahead and lay my transfer tape down. Now this is the same piece of transfer tape I just used. Just using it that one time, it is more than still sticky enough to use again. So do not be afraid to use that transfer tape, especially if you're doing like two sides of a mug. There is absolutely no reason you shouldn't be able to use one piece of transfer tape for both sides. Okay, so once again, just kind of focusing on the same thing. I'm just gonna try to get this as centered as I can in my mug. Get that first layer down. Just kind of working from the center and then out either way. I will bring in my scraper and just burnish this just a little. Okay, had a little bit of an air bubble there, but I was able to work it out, so no problem. And then we'll get our little bubble potion here. And since I clean this with the rubbing alcohol first, This vinyl is laying down so, so nicely. All right, and then let's go ahead and just lay down our second element here. Okay, and here we go. Here is craft number 1 all done. I think that this mug came out so, so cute. I absolutely love it. I think that this will be so, so sweet sitting on the Keurig for the month of October. You guys will have to let me know in the comments below how you think it came out. All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so bringing in my second blank here, you guys have seen this frame many, many times at this point. So I don't think I'm really even going to get into the details of it much. Honestly, if you watch like probably any of my old videos randomly, it'll probably see this frame. I redo it very, very often. It is absolutely one of my favorite frames I've ever found. It's one of my favorite frames to redo, and it is just absolutely a staple in my home. Now, with that being said, you guys did see me take out the design that we did last time. I believe that was in not my last video, but the one before. I was never really happy with the way that design came out. I just have not had a chance to redo it. However, now that I'm sitting down tonight to kind of focus on some Halloween crafts, I knew that this is the perfect opportunity for me to go ahead and switch this out, right? So with that being said, I did go ahead and put down some new glue dots. I cut down a piece of scrapbook paper to fit inside of my frame. This just gives me a nice white background to then put my design on. So this is the design that I have cut for my frame here. It is so, so cute. And I thought that it might be nice for us to just kind of slow down a little and weed this out together, especially because my last couple videos, I've used a certain vinyl and it has just been a nightmare to work with. So you guys have kind of missed out a little bit on some weeding, which I know for me specifically, I love watching people weed. It is one of my favorite parts of crafting videos. So I do feel bad about that because, you know, I just know how satisfying it can be. I mentioned in my last video, I was kind of just getting back into the swing of things. So with this video, I'm feeling a little more comfortable for sure. However, I do still kind of feel like I'm kind of just getting back into my groove. One thing I will say is with, you know, kind of 2 storms back to back and my husband and I both working, I have not had much time to do any shopping. So not only have I not found like any new things lately, but I also just haven't had a lot of time to like, you know, stock up on kind of my normal things like foam squares and glue dots, things like that. So with that being said, I'm kind of just trying to use what I have on hand. I literally came in tonight and just decided that this would be a great way for me to kind of de-stress, right? As much as I can with a Category 5 hurricane on the way. But I just kind of, you know, wrangled what I had in my home and the supplies that I had on hand to literally bring you these 5 crafts tonight. And I think that they are all gonna come out so, so good. Okay, so just cutting a piece of transfer tape large enough to fit my design. I'm gonna use my weeding tool just to kind of get the corner started. And then I'm gonna take the corner and just fold it back onto itself, just so it gives me a little tab there that is no longer sticky. I learned that in the comments from one of you guys, and I have to tell you, such a great tip. You guys give me the best suggestions, and it's just so funny how you guys point out things that I would literally never in my life think of. And it is one of my favorite parts of having a YouTube channel. I absolutely love like asking you guys' feedback and just seeing like different ways people would do something. I said, like that little like folding a corner over, it just seems like such common sense, but I never did and never probably would have ever thought of it. So again, thank you to that person, and it is a great, great tip. Okay, with all that being said, I'm sorry, I am super chatty tonight. I don't feel like I've been able to like sit down and really chat with you guys in quite a while. So I don't know, I'm just super excited to kind of be able to chat, right? So with that being said, you guys saw me weed my design. And is this not the cutest little bat? I think that this is just the sweetest little kind of symbol for Halloween. Since I do have a young daughter, we don't really do like a scary Halloween. We definitely do like a cuter Halloween, not a scary Halloween, because I mean, I'm just not one for scary things. I do not like scary. And two, I have a young daughter, so we're just kind of still in the cute stage, which again is fine for me. I am all for the cute. So here we go. Here is craft number 2 all done. I think that this sweet little bat is so, so cute and just scary enough, right? All right, guys, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so I have one really, really big craft left to do, and then I also have a shirt to do for myself. Both of those crafts are iron-on, so I think that I'm gonna keep those two for the very end, because the last craft, I'm gonna try to zoom you guys out just because I know I'm gonna need a little extra room. So kind of with that said, before I do that, I want to get a card done. Okay, so I need a couple of cards for my daughter's teachers. With that being said, I am going to do one of them tonight with you guys on camera, and we will just kind of see how it goes. For the sake of time, like I said, I'm only going to do one, but just know that I do plan to go back in and do this again a second time. So starting with our card base here, this is a pre-made card base. I got this in a card pack from Hobby Lobby on clearance. I will try to link the video if I can remember on where I hauled this. So with that being said, starting with this as our base, I think that the first thing I'm gonna do is just go ahead and start laying down my first layer here, which is going to be the offset layer for my little boo. Okay, so just about like that should be fine. So I'm just gonna turn this over and start adding some of the Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. Now I'm not going to add any foam tape to this because I do plan to put some gift cards in here. So I want to be able to fit these into the envelope. And I already do have kind of multiple layers going here. So I think I'm going to not use any foam tape on today's card. Okay, so I got my offset layer down. Now I did cut this out 2 additional times. However, like I said, because I want to fit this in the envelope, I think I'm going to skip those layers. And then I think my plan at least is just to kind of layer up my lettering. And then that way I'll get some dimension, but okay, so just going in with my first layer here, I'm just going to just kind of try to get glue all throughout my lettering here. Now, my little like mini nozzle is, completely clogged up. I cannot get it unclogged for the life of me, but I also cannot be bothered to like get up and go run it under some hot water, which I believe would help. So with that being said, I'm just gonna try to not completely mess this up, just using the normal nozzle. However, if you have like the super like fine one on, this part will be a lot easier. Okay, and then let's grab some tweezers. Okay, and then let's get our first layer set down here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of build this on my card. I think it might just be a little easier. I don't know. It's just kind of how my brain works. And that's kind of my first thought, right? Is kind of put glue and then get that laid down and then build upon it. So once again, that's how I'm going to choose to go about my card. Please feel free to, do it however you think makes the most sense. Also, the last couple times I've used my microphone, I don't know, I've just had like really bad luck with it. So I'm not using it this video. I really hope that the audio is okay. You guys will have to let me know down in the comments if you can tell a big difference or not. I definitely do plan to get a new microphone, do not worry. However, with everything right now with the weather, it's just kind of on hold, right? Okay, so let's bring back in our card, and I'm just gonna try to get this as centered on that first layer as I can. That glue is nice because it gives you just a little bit of wiggle room. So you have just a little bit of time to really kind of work your letters where you'd like them, which for someone like me is so valuable because, I can use all the extra help I can get. So it's really nice, like you lay something down and you just have a little bit of time, right? Just to make a little bit of adjustment there. And that little bit of wiggle room, I will tell you, makes the biggest difference. Somebody left a comment on my last video to put a dot of liquid glue on the back of the foam squares or, the foam tape that you're using. And that way it gives you just a little bit of grace because foam tape can be super like unforgiving, right? It's very sticky. And like somebody left that comment and I know that trick and I've done it in the past, but at the same time, I just like completely forgot all about it. So when they said that, it was like a total light bulb moment. I was like, oh my goodness, that is so true. I completely forgot to do that. So I don't know, for me at least, I don't know if it's just because I have a bad memory or what, But for me, I feel like I kind of go through seasons of like, I'll remember to do something so faithfully and it'll be like just second nature to me. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, I'll just forget to do it. And I don't know, it just is like I never knew to do it in the first place, right? Okay, with that being said, I did go ahead and get my last layer all laid down. This is turning out so cute so far. I'm really happy with the way it's looking. Okay, so just finishing up here, let's get our little exclamation points laid down. And you guys know I chose this design in particular specifically because of the exclamation point. Okay, so here is how my card is looking so far. I am loving it. It is coming out so good, even better than I expected, honestly. So loving that. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of let this sit for just a second and get everything nice and adhered to my card base. I think that this card came out so cute. I cannot wait for you guys to see it. Okay guys, so here is my finished card. I hope that you guys can see on camera just how nice this card came out. Layering the lettering here really just makes such the difference. Now, if you are a card maker, you'll have to let me know down in the comments below. Do you guys ever feel like cheap giving a homemade card? Now, if you make cards, right, and if you're a crafter, you know the amount of time and money we put into card making is crazy, right? But I'm like, oh my goodness, if you only knew the amount of time and money I put into that card. I mean, it's probably still not as much as like a Hallmark card because I think they're up to like $8 now, but let me tell you, the time is definitely there. Okay guys, so here is my little card. Like I said, I do have one more of these to make. However, I have to get a move on tonight. So let's finish up our last two iron-on crafts and call it a night. Okay, bringing in my next blank here. You guys will have to forgive me. I do not remember all of the details on this blank. I do know for sure that it is a floating shelf from Hobby Lobby. It comes in the bare wood, and I did go in and give this just a quick coat of Waverly Antique Wax on a baby wipe. Now, I did scoot you guys out because this is a very large shelf, but as you guys will see, I am going to, and I like to use these floating shelves in particular as just normal signs in my home. They make a great signs to just sit on, you know, a table or a shelf. One of my favorite signs I think I ever made in my life was actually one of these shelf sitters. I made it last year for Christmas, and we're gonna kind of do a different version of that here for Halloween. But that was absolutely one of my favorite crafts. I packed it up and I plan to take it out again this year. Unless, of course, we just have to like make another one because I'm so inspired, which, you know, let's be honest, is probably going to happen, right? But I will say it's still going in my home because it is just so cute. It's nutcrackers and it's just so good. Okay, so with that being said, I did have to move my shelf because, again, it is very large. I think it is 25 long by 7 wide, something just about like that. And I did cut my design here in iron-on. Now, I did that for a couple different reasons, right? I think the biggest reason being I particularly really like that look. I love having pops of glitter iron-on in my home. When the light hits it, it is just so pretty, and I think it really just adds a lot of interest to your home, especially if you're someone that keeps it, you know, kind of a little more neutral like I do. Most things in my home are, you know, pretty neutral other than pink, which I don't know, is kind of a neutral to me anyways. So having just a little bit of glitter really is just nice for the eye. You could absolutely do this with just normal, you know, adhesive vinyl. With that being said, since it is such a large design, cutting it out of iron-on will also just make it a lot easier to place, right? And I'll kind of show you guys that in just a second. I am just quickly going through and getting this weeded. This was a very simple design to cut. And luckily also to weed. So now with this being iron-on, it is really nice because this is able to be laid down and picked up without it being permanent, right? So if this was adhesive vinyl, I would highly recommend using parchment paper to help you get it straight. However, I need something a little more foolproof, right? I am not the queen of getting things straight. With that being said, I will just use any advantage I have. And for me in this case, using iron-on is an advantage that was a super, super easy choice, right? Okay, so I'm gonna bring in my Easy Press Mini. I have it set to high, which is the third wavy line there. And I'm going to simply just start in the middle of my design here. And I'm just going to start giving this some nice pressure and just trying to get this laid down, right? Actually, I think high was a little too high, so I'm gonna bump that down to medium. And again, I'm just going to try to give this probably like medium pressure, right? And I'll try to focus on every area for, I would say, just about 30 seconds or so. However, as always, please monitor what's in front of you. Make sure that you are just watching your project and monitoring it for any burning or, any areas that might need a little extra time or a little less time. Okay, so this seems to be laying down really, really nicely. I think lowering it to medium helped a lot. Having it on high, I think it was just way too much heat too fast. And for this, it's like you kind of want to give it a little bit of time and a little bit of pressure to really get it on to that wood, right? Okay, so you guys saw me iron that on. Now, normally I would kind of flip that over on my desk and just wait for it to cool down and then try to see where we are with that. However, since I am running a little long tonight and, I do need to get some sleep and kind of call it a day ahead of tomorrow. I'm gonna kind of multitask here and just let that cool down to the side. And we're gonna work on my last craft for tonight. And this is going to be a shirt for myself. Now, I was thinking I'm gonna make this shirt for when I take my daughter trick-or-treating. I'm not one to dress up. However, I do appreciate a little, quirky little shirt, right? I am a millennial and, I think that we like our sarcastic shirts, so I'm here for it. With that being said, this just says Hollow Queen, and, that's me. Okay, so here I just have a t-shirt from Target. This t-shirt has not been washed, so I apologize for the various lint. However, you did see me go in with the lint roller. I just focused on the area where we're gonna be layering our design. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in my big heat press here. I am warming this up to 330, and as it warms up, I'm just going to bring it in and let it just warm up my t-shirt as it warms. This is just gonna help release any moisture from my t-shirt as well as release any wrinkles because like I said, this does need to be washed. It has just been sitting in my craft room for some amount of time waiting for this craft. So okay, so that looks pretty good to me. I'm gonna bring in my big heat press here. It is again set to 330 for 30 seconds. I can just about get my whole design, but not quite. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this side and then I'll just shift it over and repress. Okay, and then once again, kind of as my t-shirt cools down, let's bring this one back in and see how we did. Oh my goodness. Glitter iron-on is just fail-proof, I promise you. Okay guys, and just like that, I have my sign all done. I promise you, you will not be able to appreciate this sign unless you see it in person. The white glitter is just, it is so, so good. It is my absolute all-time favorite. The white glitter that I used for this sign is actually the same exact one I used for my t-shirt. So what a great craft. I think this might be another favorite. All right, guys, let's check on our shirt and then call it a night. Okay, and here is how my t-shirt turned out. Now you can see there is a little bit of discoloration from my heat press. Not to worry, that will go away. As it kind of cools down, it will dissipate. And again, this does need to be washed yet still. So sometimes with darker colors, you can kind of get that, but don't worry, it is not permanent. Now I will probably put down a piece of butcher paper and give this just another quick couple seconds, probably about 15 seconds of heat, just to kind of safeguard and make sure that this lasts a really long time. Okay guys, so with that being said, I am going to call it a night. I am so, so happy with how everything came out tonight. Guys, thank you so, so much for joining me in tonight's video. Thank you for all of your kind words. And I ask that you please just keep my family and Florida in your prayers. Let me know in the comments down below which one was your favorite from tonight. I think you guys can probably tell which one was my favorite. Comment down below and I'll let you know if you're right. All right, guys, that's all I have time for, but I hope that you have a great week and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.